Light Seekers, welcome to this week's Scry With Me reading. You are not going to believe this. My phone was recording and I guess it just stopped recording and I was channeling really heavy. As you can see, we have all the cards here. We have the book out and we also have 2 Scry With Me messages. This week's episode, I guess we're not going to do like this whole I guess spirits tell me to not do it routinely. We're just going to go with the flow and go with the mess up. But I had already channeled 2 messages and I was already really getting into this reading, and I looked at my phone and it just randomly stopped recording and it shut off. And I'm like, are you kidding? Anywho, so let's go ahead and just reflect over. We're gonna just do this quickly because that was already that was already almost 20 minutes in, and I'm surprised it didn't even save the video. That's crazy. That's a first for me. Man, energy may be messing with it or something. I don't know. You know what I was going to tell you too, before I forget and before we get into this reading, when I was going to do the first Scry With Me message from here from the Star Tarot, I kept landing on 7 of Cups. Literally, I landed on it 3 times. 7 of Cups. And I did channel before getting into the whole reading. After landing on the same page 3 times in a row, the page number is 126. So when you do that in numerology, it's 9. It's equal to 9. And 9 symbolizes a new beginning. And this is before I even pulled the new beginning, the Dawn New Beginning card. I thought that was very interesting. And I did read it, and maybe I should read it again, or maybe I shouldn't. I don't really know if I should. Let me get out some. The gift of the 7 Cups is to focus into bringing your creative imagination, which is your passions, into reality by having clarity of your true self and soul purpose. And mind you, this is before I even got into the cards. You know, the cards are just confirming the energy that's going on. There are many directions and choices that distract the path of true purpose, leading you off course. This deters and steers you into unrealistic ideas, dreams, and hopes, or focus on false abundance, which is just material possessions. And the 7 of Cups signals an overactive imagination of illusory visions and fantasies that will never become a real reality. This experience can bring delusion, confusion, indecision, and procrastination, and a chance of falling into deep sadness or false happiness, thus alienating you from spirit and your truth and stealing your self-worth and inner power. The 7 of Cups is also testing and tempting your ability to choose wisely in this physical world of matter in the 3D. There are many attractive distractions out there that can misguide you off your true path. And I mean, this can come in the form of, alcohol, drugs, eating, TV, or overworking, yourself, or, this is how you dilute this truthful experience. This is how you lead away from the heart center. You allow yourself to become invested in these temporary things. So the key to the 7 of Cups card is deep, integrated soul work to pull you out of the elusive state of being. And you have the will and the power and the ability to change conditions in your life by uniting with higher vibrations, with uniting with your true self of the light, right? So I just want to share that with you. Let's go ahead and dive into this reading, okay? Okay, so the first message we had for the Scry With Me reading this week was, the dove is on a quest to bring love and light into the darkest parts of our being, shining peace on our tortured hearts. So I had said in the very beginning of the Scry With Me message, before we even got into the cards, I feel like the storm around us, these times in our lives, when we allow them to seep into our heart, we allow our heart to become those storms, right? So, I mean, storms come in all different ways and shapes, even natural storms like in the world, symbolically, symbolic storms, as well as just storms like health wise, like how we are physically on the inside. So I related a lot of what this reading was already going to be about, was about allowing ourselves to have peace and solace within ourselves, because we've made home in the discomfort and the torture of the perceived bad things of our lives, right? So so bringing love and light into the darkest part of our beings is also helping create that equilibrium, that balance. And then the second message I landed on, which is from this book for the Scry With Me reading, was inner child curiosity, the porcupine. So it talks about the porcupine medicine, like the animal medicine. The symbolism behind it is embracing the inner child like curiosity. Okay. So now after that, we were actually getting into the oracle, and I was channeling heavy on this. And I mean heavy before I even started doing the star tarot, because I was also very excited too, because we were using the star tarot because I felt divinely guided to pull out this deck. Well, the first card we had got, the Earth Magic Oracle cards, was, let me see if I remember. Yeah, it was blessings. So I was channeling that, yes, there is a big blessing, but I feel like you have to move past something. So the next card we got was Wake Up Call, Tsunami, so waves. I had channeled a thought that always crosses my mind. There's a song that always comes up in my mind whenever I think of waves. And I can't remember. Oh, Mr. Probs, Waves. Wave at the wave. I don't know if y'all ever heard that song, but it's Mr. Probs, Wave. I'll write it down right here. Every time I think of waves, I think of that song. And in that song, he's basically describing his willfulness to allow himself to be in that tortured state emotionally. And it's like, you know, waves symbolically in that song represented emotional turmoil for him, drowning in his own emotions, right? So wake up call in this sense, I feel like there's something emotionally that you may have recently been through or will go through very soon enough that will break you out. So there's definitely going to be something here along the emotional self, a very big wave, something that can cause a big wave that will wake your ass up, that will wake you up to your true self. Okay. I also feel like some of the other cards that we got here was solitude and movement, which was pretty cool, because right before I said solitude, right before I said, before I got the movement card, the river movement card, when I had channeled solitude, I had said, yeah, you have been very much to yourself lately. I feel like you've kept a lot to yourself, a lot of things that you could share, you know, to the collective, as well as, you know, your story. I feel like you kept a lot to yourself because you've always done everything for yourself. And, you know, I feel like you've had this idea that because you always had to do everything for yourself, that no one deserved access to you emotionally as well as mentally, you know. You felt like you had to do everything on your own, and this meant caring for yourself in the way that you saw fit. But in turn, this solitude was only meant for a certain amount of time to help you nourish yourself. It wasn't never meant to be seen, like to be twisted in some sort of sense, like, you know, nobody deserves to be in my vicinity because I can take care of myself all by myself. It wasn't meant to be like that. And that's when I had got the river movement card, and I said, I feel like you have to allow yourself to move this energy, this way of thinking through, and allowing yourself to float down. Allow your emotions to float out. Allow your cup to fill out. Because once, you know, when you hold still water for too long, what happens to it? It starts to go bad, right? So when we have water, when we have these emotions, when we have water within our heart space, when we have our full cup, right? Like our cups, like in the cards, cups represent, you know, the heart space, the emotions. We have to create some sort of inflow and you know, an outflow of water within and outwards of ourselves. We can't keep still water within us. We can't keep still emotions within us, because then it starts to not go bad, but it starts to get murky, and you know, it's not as fresh as one would need to sustain the flow throughout one's body. The next card we have was New Beginnings. So I feel like once you allow yourself to move through this movement, you know, and embrace the emotional wake up call, a new beginning is definitely upon the horizon for you. The next card we had was Love and Compassion. This is a heart card. Okay, so with this heart card, I feel like this is like the humanitarian path. This is about giving back. This is about going to like an animal shelter and donating your time. It's not even just like donating, like even like a food pantry. It's not just like about donating the foods, which is great. Yeah, like more supply, right? But it's also about donating something that's even more precious, which is yourself, your time, your cup, right? Your heart, your cup, allowing yourself to pour, but also supplying yourself at the same time, but not initially doing certain things for yourself first. This is about being selfless. It's about embracing the selfless path. Okay. The next card we had was Childhood Innocence, which pretty much confirmed the porcupine symbolism in the scry with the message here. I feel like once you allow yourself to fully envelop in the things that, I mean, like, okay, hold on. Let me just say this. A lot of our spiritual path has a lot to do with the self we once were, the self that we purely embraced this world with when we were very young. So it's about rediscovering, unearthing the inner child. So once you unearth the inner self and take acknowledgement of the things that you wanted, like me personally, okay, as a child, I love exploring. I love going out. I mean, I got in trouble for it, of course, you know what I mean? But there's times where, like, I mean, I just randomly take off somewhere because intuitively I felt guided. My feet felt guided to walk the earth. Of course, my grandparents were looking for me and they were pissed because they couldn't find me. And by the time they found me, I was in timeout most of the time and I got in a lot of trouble. Sometimes I got spankings, you know. But there's that. I had a natural affinity also for, I guess maybe it's one of those things, you know. I had a natural affinity for forgiving, you know, for helping, right? And I mean, there's many other things, you know. So it's really about reflecting on those things as a child that you once naturally gravitated towards, right? Which will help bring you into your blessings, which will bring you out of that solitude way of thinking and into the movement towards your new beginnings. Okay. We also have Iceberg Submerged here. I know you can barely see the cards, but since this is next to the Love and Compassion card, so since this is next to the humanitarian kind of energy I'm feeling, I feel like you definitely went through some sort of like ice storm, right? So we're talking about storms, allowing those storms to come into our hearts. This rose over your cup. This rose over your cup of giving, of being selfless, embracing the selfless path, you know? The next card we had was from the Star Tarot, and this was the Fool. And the Fool is about like leap of faith. It's about jumping in to the unknown. Just, I mean, understanding the consequences, but at the same time, not giving a fuck. You know, allowing yourself to jump into it and realizing that consequence is not consequence unless it has its equal part, which is reward. The reward of allowing yourself to just leap into your inner innocence, into your blessings, will clear up a lot of your karma. We have DNA karma here, right? A lot of your karma, I feel like, is rooted within your root chakra, within the parts of you that were the very beginning parts of you. So this is the inner child. And it could be also from past lives too. A lot of our past lives needs to be, karma needs to be cleared up. And it's embedded into our DNA, as well as a lot of karma can be passed on through family generational lines. It can be passed on through our mother's womb, through their root chakra, into us. Okay. Next card we have was Five of Pentacles. I know the Pentacles has to do with the physical here, but since it was pulled to be right here, like on the Love and Compassion card, the Heart Space card we were just talking about, and there's the Iceberg Submerged. There's a movement card right here, which is next to this card, and actually they are moving. There's somebody in a cloak, a fur cloak, next to a wolf, right, accompanied by a wolf. I was actually just about to read about the wolf medicine right before my phone cut off. I did channel that. I feel like you definitely went through some sort of ice age here, frozen over. You were moving at a very slow and steady pace, not realizing you were moving. You probably felt just, you know, abandoned and frozen over, because I see that the snowy mountains in the background. The Five of Pentacles also, I was about to read from the book too, but what I had channeled is that even though it didn't feel like you were going or moving anywhere, you felt like you were stuck in this frozen space. You were actually moving towards the true heartfelt, warm, self, true self, all this time. You had to go through treacherous, snowy, mountains of the self. This is like the shadow work. I feel like you went through this like for what, 5 years? Because we have the 5 right here for the 5 of Pentacles. I feel like you went through a very dark night of the soul for 5 freaking years. I mean, that's a long time, but it was necessary to bring you back into your core self, to bring you back to source, to the divine will of the universe, because it was about embracing the selfless path. The next cards we had here was, rebirth. You're definitely going through when the snow melts after a winter storm or after an ice age, what happens? The earth flourishes. There's abundance of fertility, a greenery. You're definitely being rebirthed, and also it's spring equinox, it says on this card. So the spring's coming up. Spring's coming up. So I feel like the spring season is also going to be your Kickstarter here. We also have stillness, vigilance, being aware within your own reflections, as well as being aware about what makes you passionate. Let's go ahead and read about the wolf symbolism before we close out this reading. I think the wolf is on the last one. Wolf. Yeah. In American Native cosmology, the wolf is not regarded as a lethal animal, but as a teacher, a pathfinder. So while you're going through this dark night, this icy storm of the heart, of the self, the wolf was there as medicine in a sense, right? Around you may have not seen it, but you were actually going through it. It was leading you through the path, one who leads the way. The wolf has highly developed senses. Its nose, for instance, is 100 times more sensitive than the humans. It can sense the difference between real and imagined danger. So this imagined danger here is just what I was talking about, that we allowed you must have allowed yourself to absorb this imagined danger of the storm within. And it was never meant to be that way. It was never meant to be that way. Or was it? Right? I feel like things are divinely ordained, but at the same time, we do put ourselves through shit that's unnecessary most of the time. And it makes the whole process stretch out a little bit longer than needed. The confrontation of wolf as a power animal is an indication of being taken to meet your inner teacher and to receive direct personal teaching. Wolf will reveal to you that anyone and anything can be a teacher. You can learn from trees, plants, animals, birds, rocks, and stones, and even from the wind and the rain. You just need to be alert. Where's the vigilant card? I just had it. Vigilance, alertness, awareness. You just need to be alert and learn to listen, to be in stillness too. I have that card right there. Wolf thus indicates a coming forth of knowledge that is beneath the level of consciousness and within the unconscious. The key indicator, ability to extend the senses. Now this could be physical senses, this could be ethereal senses, psychic senses, right? So brushing up on your intuitive side is also very necessary right now. Any more cards? Let's see, what's the last card here? 8 of Wands. Oh, we have lightning here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but whoa. Okay, let's go and see what that's about. Okay, check this. So just look at this really quickly. Can y'all see that? Okay. In the image of the 8 of Wands is a mandala of cosmic energy within the heart center. There are 4 bolts of lightning penetrating the mandala. The lightning bolts symbolize a pure cosmic energy infusing the heart with divine truth, inspiration, and light. This spiritual energy is flowing into the heart, where all at once the aha moment occurs. The heart shoots out pure thought into action, represented by the 8 shooting stars, which originate from the heart chakra. The 7 colors of the chakras are imbued upon the mandala. A violet circle surrounds the heart and reveals the opening crown chakra. This chakra powerfully transmutes the energy within divine wisdom to the heart and awakens the life source, the source self, back to source. Oh my goodness. The cosmic light of the universe is shimmering into your body, soul, and spirit. That's exactly what they want to remind you of right now. That's exactly the message. Your light body is being activated, basically. The 8 of Wands is pure cosmic energy radiating from the heart, transferring this momentous energy into actualized matter. Boom. And that concludes this week's Scry With Me reading. I I am very surprised at how this turned out, but I'm also very happy that it turned out this way because I get to actually read all at once what I felt this message was about. Maybe it wasn't meant to be traditionally how I usually do it, you know? Change is okay. And you know, when things mix up, find another avenue, find another river to move through. When things get mixed up and when things get stuck, when things get frozen, eventually it melts and it always finds its way back to the ocean. Always back to our truth, back to the truth, to the ocean, where our wake-up calls are. Anywho, I enjoyed doing this reading for you. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading for you. If you want to book a personal reading with me, I'm open for personal readings. Go ahead and check in the description box below. I will have information on what services I do offer, as well as any counseling. If you just want to talk, I'm open to talk. I'll talk to you next time. Until next week. Bye, Seekers.